Heavy hearts across the law enforcement community this morning, remembering a fallen officer, Sergeant Daniel Mobley. Mobley, a DeKalb Police veteran, was killed in the line of duty Saturday morning. He was investigating a crash on the downtown connector near Spring Street involving one of his fellow off-duty officers. While he was on the scene, a car lost control going around the curve there, hit the concrete wall, then hit Mobley and his patrol car. The Georgia State Patrol saying charges are now pending against the driver who hit him. Shanu Hur has more now on how the community is remembering the beloved sergeant.
For several hours, traffic on the downtown connector stood still while crews investigated a crash. For the DeKalb County Police Department, this wasn't just another crash. They lost one of their own, Sergeant Daniel Mobley, a 22-year veteran.
The law enforcement community as a whole at this moment is hurting.
Police Chief Mirtha Ramos says Sergeant Mobley responded to that area of I-75 and I-85 to investigate a crash involving an off-duty police officer. When he got out of his car, another vehicle struck Sergeant Mobley. He later died at Grady Hospital. The officer in the initial crash was not injured.
So Sergeant Mobley was a highly respected supervisor of the DeKalb County Police Department, and we will miss him dearly.
The news of Sergeant Mobley's death spread quickly. Governor Brian Kemp tweeted, "Heartbreaking news. Please join our family in praying for the friends and loved ones of Sergeant Mobley." The Hapeville Police Department also tweeted their support for DeKalb County Police. These words, supporting a man Chief Ramos and the department praised for his work as an officer since 1998, which garnered respect among his peers.
When you have officers flying into the hospital not in uniform because it's their day off to show their respect, then that means he's earned that respect.
Although we haven't yet learned of the exact charges that driver could face, Sergeant Mobley's death a somber reminder that Georgia does have a law in the books meant to protect first responders and emergency personnel. Mara Sirianni looked into Georgia's move-over law and how it's meant to help prevent tragedies like this from happening.
In a press conference, Chief Ramos stressed the importance of adhering to Georgia's move-over law, which requires drivers to move over for emergency vehicles along Georgia's roadways. Investigators say the driver of a silver Ford Focus lost control of his vehicle Saturday while negotiating a left-hand curve. The vehicle then exited onto the right shoulder of the downtown connector, hitting the barrier wall and striking Sergeant Mobley. Chief Ramos says the officer was following department protocol and had just pulled over to assist another officer following an accident. He then became the victim while getting out of his cruiser. Ramos said had the driver changed lanes and slowed down, the crash may not have happened at all. Remember, Georgia's move-over law requires drivers to shift over one lane when possible if an emergency vehicle with flashing lights is parked on the shoulder of the highway. And if traffic is too heavy to move over, the law requires drivers to slow down and even be prepared to stop. The Georgia State Patrol added that charges are pending against the driver in Saturday's crash.